Hey guys, how's it going? This is Waj, and in this video we'll be doing a direct head-to-head hands-on comparison between the all-new 3DS and the 3DS XL. Now they're going to have a new version of the XL coming out in 2015, but I thought a lot of you guys might have the XL and are kind of wondering on how the new 3DS, the standard 3DS, compares against it. So this video is perfect for you guys. So without any further ado, let's get right into this video. Now the first thing that we're going to talk about is the overall kind of size differences between these two. Obviously they're quite different in terms of overall dimensions. When both devices are in their closed position, the XL measures 156 millimeters in terms of its width and 93 millimeters in terms of its depth. Now the new 3DS measures about 142 millimeters in terms of its width and 80.6 millimeters in terms of its depth. Now it actually lands straight dab in the middle between the older generation 3DS being a little bit smaller than the new 3DS, and certainly the new 3DS is smaller than the XL. Now in terms of the thickness, you'll actually be surprised of how similar they are. Basically the XL measures about 22 millimeters versus 21.6 millimeters on the new 3DS. Furthermore, in terms of weight, the new 3DS measures about 253 grams versus the 340 grams that the XL weighs. Now in terms of the ergonomics and overall feel in the hand, they actually feel a lot more similar than you would think. Basically, they're both curved and they both have a similar kind of design and form factor, being rounded both at the top and bottom of the whole device. And even though the XL is a larger device, I do find that it is pretty comfortable and very evenly spaced in terms of its button distribution and overall kind of configuration. Now the new 3DS is kind of a good blend between the old and the new, so it definitely has a nice button placement, feels just right in the hand, and you can certainly use this thing for a long time. Now let's take a quick look around these two gaming consoles to kind of show you what the new features are on the new 3DS. Looking at the very front of both consoles, you can see that they've actually moved the game slot from the back of the device to the front of the device, making it a little bit more convenient on the new 3DS. Now furthermore, you can see that the headphone jack is still located at the center on the new 3DS to match the older previous generation 3DS, and the XL obviously has it on the left hand side. Additionally, they've relocated where the stylus lives on the new 3DS. It's at the front right beside the headphone jack versus to the side on the XL, and basically in terms of the stylus itself, it actually feels fairly similar. Obviously you have a much smaller stylus on the new 3DS and it's untelescopic unlike last generation 3DS, which is kind of unfortunate, and I know some people do like a larger stylus, but overall it's not too bad to use. Now taking a look at the back, the big addition on the new 3DS has to be the inclusion of the ZL and ZR bumper buttons, which are the new set of bumper buttons that are going to allow you to control different aspects of your games, give you a couple of more options in terms of controllability. And in terms of the button feel, I think they feel pretty much the same as the regular bumpers on the left-right side of the device, and they are easily reachable for most people's hands. Now you can see that when we take a look at these two devices in terms of the actual control interface, there's not a lot of difference. They're both using pretty similar speaker technology, the same exact cameras, but the big addition over here on the new 3DS is they've actually changed the button layout at the bottom screen location, so you have a new home button, as well as they have relocated the select and start buttons to be more easily accessible, which is definitely nice. But in terms of control interface, obviously the big addition over here is that you have the new C-Stick integration, and basically what this is a rubber knob that's going to allow you to control higher degrees of movement, and it's not like a joystick or like a C-pad as you would find on the other side of the device. It's more of a pressure sensitive point of control. Another kind of more cosmetic change is they've actually done the color scheme of the Super Famicom and Super Nintendo on the A, B, X, Y buttons, so you have that kind of cool color scheme that's really kind of iconic and definitely a nice touch. Now the upper and lower displays are pretty much identical in terms of overall resolution. Obviously they're a different size altogether, but in terms of the quality and resolution, they're pretty much the same. The only real big feature on the new 3DS is it actually has head tracking enabled for your 3D, and that works pretty well. It basically tracks your head and you no longer have to be in a fixed position to get that 3D effect, and it works really well 98% of the time. It has a little bit of issues here and there, but for the most part the 3D 3D definitely works, and it kind of expands the horizons of what you can do with 3D, especially with the fact that you can move your head freely. Now inside, in terms of the CPU, we do have an upgraded processor on the new 3DS. It's basically using the similar ARM Nintendo-based architecture. That's the dual-core processor, and it's clocked in about 266 megahertz on the XL, but on the new 3DS we have a higher clock speed, about 532 megahertz, and it also has double the amount of RAM of 256 versus 128 megabytes of RAM on the older version. Additionally, the GPU has been also updated, and it has a higher clock speed, about 266 versus 133 megahertz on the older generation. Plus, it has 10 megabytes of dedicated video memory versus 6 megabytes on the XL side. So, but currently right now what you'll notice is that the current games don't look different at all. They don't have any graphically impressive features at this point. Now, there's certainly going to be new games coming out in 2015 that are going to take advantage of the upgraded hardware inside the new 3DS, and there you'll find some graphical improvement in your games. But currently right now, they're both identical in terms of graphical capabilities. Now, one thing is certainly true is that when you're using the OS and loading up different games, the load times are a little bit quicker on the new 3DS. Basically, if you are in an application as well, you can hit that home button and you'll get back to the home menu a little bit faster than you would on the XL on the new 3DS. Additionally, if you have both consoles turned off and you turn them on at the same time, you'll also notice that the new console boots up a little bit quicker as well. Now, the last thing that we're going to talk about is just the battery performance on these two gaming consoles. Basically, they're pretty much the same. The new 3DS has pretty much matched the performance on the XL, which was typically better than the standard DS. And currently on this Japanese version, we're getting about 3.5 to 6 hours of full 3D gameplay, which nicely matches the performance capabilities on the XL. So both can do pretty much the same in terms of battery life, but certainly the battery performance has been updated on the new 3DS. But other than that, guys, that's really it. If you have any specific questions about anything I talked about in this video, please make sure to leave that on a comment down below. Let me know what you think of this version of the new 3DS. Do you think it's worth upgrading? And if you're kind of interested in seeing how this compares against the generation that it's going to be replacing, the last generation of the DS, definitely check my other video out where I'll compare it against my regular 3DS versus the new 3DS. So thank you so much for watching again, and thanks for your support, and we'll see you later. Take care.